Hey there, Matt here with 5280 Armory. In the last Springfield Hellion video that I did, I was getting pretty anxious to go shooting. I told you that I would get back together with you on the disassembly and reassembly of this bullpup. So for those of you that like a demonstration to go along with your reading, let's get started. I've got my safety glasses on just in case something squirts me in the eye, so let's start off by clearing this weapon. The magazine is already out, so let's check the chamber. We'll retract the bolt, nothing in the chamber. By the way, you can hold open this bolt by just sticking your finger into the mag well and raising the lever. It'll catch the bolt. Then we can put our weapon into the safe position. I'm going to start by relieving the tension on this bolt carrier group by moving it to its forward position. The manual says we shouldn't need any tools to take this weapon apart. So I'm going to use a dummy round. This is the one thing that we should have when we go shooting, which is ammunition. Let's get this pin started. With the pin head slightly lifted, I'm just going to grab it with my fingers and pull it until it stops. They are captured so you don't lose them in the field. The instructions say that I should have my buttstock extended to its full position, but I found that it didn't really matter either way. If you just pull straight back on the buttstock, it's going to give you a little resistance. However, if you do a rotating type of movement while you're pulling back, that's the ticket. Just like that, it separates very easily. Notice the recoil spring and the rod are attached. Let's set that to the side. With the buttstock off, let's retract our charging handle. That's going to bring our bolt carrier group to the back of the receiver, where I can just grab it with my fingers and pull it out. Don't worry about pieces and parts taken off or flying somewhere. It's all self-contained. With the bolt carrier group removed, this is a perfect time to talk about something that we had mentioned in the first video. Let's move the dust cover locking pin from left to right. Remember that cheek rest we were talking about? It's cammed out of the way, so I can take the pin, pull it out, move the weapon over onto its other side, shut the dust cover, and insert the pin. Now, because I'm extremely right-handed, I'm going to go ahead and put it back. To remove the trigger pack, we're going to depress this little spring-loaded button. If your fingernails aren't long enough, grab that dummy round, depress that button, and then push down. That'll separate the trigger group. You can reach right up in there with your fingers and pull it out. Once again, it's all self-contained, so nothing's going to go flying anywhere. The magwell is the second pin we're going to push out. Get it started. This one seems to be a little stiffer. Grab it with my fingertips. It's starting to break in a little bit. I'm going to stick my finger into the front of the magwell, pulling down and away. And then it separates. We'll set that to the side. Our third and final pin holds on to forend. Pull it straight forward. Set that to the side. Now that the forend is off, let's take off this carry handle. This might be the most difficult part, or at least until you figure out what works best for you. This button right here can be pushed from either side. So you have to depress that and pull away at the same time. Got to give it a pretty good tug and then pull it away from the gas block. We'll set that over there. With the carry handle off, now we can get to the gas piston. I found that I did the opposite. I put the back end of the receiver on the table, and now I grab the piston rod that's got the spring tension on it. I keep a hold of the piston itself, pulling downward on the piston rod. That allows me to get the right angle, so now I can pull that apart and my piston will come out as well. Now's a good time to get my bolt carrier group taken apart. Take my dummy round, start by pushing this firing pin retainer out just enough that I can grab it with my fingernails, pull it out. Now we've got the firing pin safety lever. I'll lift it up, pull out the firing pin. The cam may fall out on its own. If not, we get it to the right position, push it out with the firing pin. There's the cam. Now we can separate the bolt from the bolt carrier group. This is as far as I'm going to go on disassembly. And for field stripping purposes, you probably don't need to take it down this far every time. Maybe every second or third time. Well, let's get it all cleaned up and we'll start to reassemble. Everything's cleaned up now. This would be a perfect time for us to demonstrate how we would change the extractor from left to right or vice versa. We just have to remember that the extractor is going to face the port, ejection port that is, of your choosing. I'm right-handed, so let's start it off as a lefty, and then I'm going to change it back. So my extractor is on the left side. I will install my cam key. It's only one way that it will go in. Lift up on the lever, put my firing pin in, then my retainer. Okay, now let's reverse it. Move the firing pin. Let the cam fall out. Move the extractor to the right side. Install the cam. Let the bolt fall forward. In goes the firing pin. And the retaining pin. We'll take it apart one more time. This would be a good time to get a little light oil on that bolt and cam key so we don't have to take it apart again. If your cam key won't fall out as easily as this one's been doing, let's revisit this. This hole on the bottom of your bolt carrier plus your firing pin, you'll index your bolt carrier to the right place and you'll push that cam key out with your firing pin. It's time to start building this bullpup back up. I'm going to start off with a 3-part short stroke gas piston. I'm going to turn the rifle up this way because the spring support right here free floats until it lands in its keyed position, which you can see on the top of the barrel here. So when I turn it to its right position, it locks right into place. I'm going to insert my piston. You may have a little bit of resistance here. The piston rings themselves are going to be slightly oversized for obvious reasons to catch that gas pressure and operate properly. If you're having any trouble, I found that just rotating it to the left or the right a little bit centered it up pretty good, and then it allowed it to be taken out or put back in quite easily. Once the piston's in, I'm going to hold it with my fingertips, take the rod and spring, depress it to where I can insert it back into the piston itself. With the gas piston installed, now we can get to the carry handle. Remember at first when we were taking it apart, we had mentioned that at the front of the carry handle, there's a post running across the width of the carry handle that indexes with this U-notch on top of the gas block. So we'll get that put into place here. Got it on the first try there. Line it up, give it a tap. You have to tap it pretty good to lock it down. We'll now put the forend back on. I'm going to start about 3/4 of an inch of the way back, indexing these knobs we discussed earlier with the slots on the forend. Pull it straight back and depress my retaining pin. We'll do the magwell next. We have to have this in place first before we put the trigger pack in. So there's going to be a rocking action. We'll start at the back. Find those little slots that those lugs land into. Once it pushes into place and I can push the retaining pin down, I know it's in place properly. Then I can take my trigger pack, find the index slots with the magwell, push it in. I've lightly oiled the external surfaces of my bolt carrier group. I'm going to insert it into the back end of the receiver, but I'm not going to push it in all the way just yet. It's easier for me to line up my recoil spring and my guide rod with the bolt carrier group closer to the back. Okay, once I've got those in the proper holes, I can start to push it forward and then push my retaining pin in. Let's do a function test. Everything appears to be in order. That can only mean one thing. This bullpup's ready to shoot again. I had a viewer from the last video ask me a question. Do the mags drop freely in between mag changes? Let's go hit the range and find out. We really haven't been able to get the mags to drop freely for us, so make sure you just rip them out of there, get them out of your way. I've been shooting this Hellion for a couple of straight weeks now. I've not had any issues whatsoever, no failures to feed, fire, or eject with several hundred rounds downrange. We are taking orders for this bullpup. They are still kind of hard to come by, but those orders are being filled reasonably quickly. So come on down and take a peek, 5280 Armory, Colorado's gun shop. We'll see you soon. Hey, and don't forget, if you like watching videos about firearms and supporting your Second Amendment, or you're from another country in which you had a Second Amendment, do us a big favor. Hit that subscribe button so we can keep this channel going. And thanks for watching.